guys, and welcome back to the channel and welcome to today's video. Now, a few weeks ago you saw me unbox the complete Maxspect Jump line of saltwater aquarium equipment. Now today we are going to be taking the skimmer that we unboxed in that video, setting it up in my reef tank, and then I'll come back a couple days after setting it up once the break-in process is started and give a quick little review. So to start off, here's the unit and we can talk about it a little more in depth now. So first of all, the first thing I noticed on the skimmer was the adjustment valve is right here. It's very easy and it's located on the front, so it's super easy to adjust the water level or water height in the skimmer. Next thing I noticed is the skimmer cup. There's a float valve in here which will automatically turn the skimmer off once the skim mate or the stuff in the cup reaches a certain level to prevent it from overflowing, so that's super awesome. The next thing I noticed is that this skimmer cup is very difficult to get off the skimmer body. I don't know if that's just because it's new, but you really have to get under here and pry that off. So it is a super tight seal, but if you have low clearance in your aquarium stand and you're trying to pry it off, it could be a little bit difficult and skim mate could go flying. Just a word of caution, be careful when removing this. The next thing is the hose right here. This is the hose that you can use to drain the stuff that's in the cup into like a jar or something. I don't use that because I don't have enough room in my stand to put like a skim mate holder, if that makes sense, or a drain. So I normally would just remove this. I've seen some skimmers that allow you to wrap it around like that to store it. This skimmer isn't one of them. This will just dangle in the water. What I'm gonna go ahead and do is actually cut it and just affix the drain little end right there, the little plug, and I'm just gonna put it right here so it's a little bit neater and tidier in the sump.
12 seconds later.
Now that it's shortened and ready to go, this system is almost ready to set up. I will mention the little bubble plate in there, which is that little clear thing, that is not included built in the skimmer. It's actually separate in the box, so I had to go dig it back out and install it. Very easy to install. As you can see, here are the dual needle wheel pumps. There are two sides for two air intakes, and then the little air intake silencer is hidden right here up top. Now, without further ado, I'm gonna go ahead and start setting this up. We have the controller right here, which I'm gonna mount inside the aquarium stand, but first, before we even get ready to set this skimmer up, I gotta remove my old skimmer. So I'm gonna go ahead and throw you over to the tank. We'll pull out the old skimmer and get this beast ready to put in the sump. I'm gonna have to move some stuff around because this skimmer is way bigger than the skimmer I have now. So I'm gonna have to move some heaters and stuff around to make it fit, but we'll get to that in a minute. So it's literally been like 20 minutes. I've spilled stuff all over my floor from the stupid cup. And like, I literally can't pull the skimmer out. Like, this cord is like literally stuck. Like, I can't get it out.
One eternity later.
Okay, so I got a spot cleared out in the sump and we should be just about ready. So the first thing I'm gonna do is get the skimmer ready with the controller, AKA get all the cords ready. First, I'm just gonna plug the skimmer right into the controller, and then we'll go ahead and screw that on to make sure it's watertight. And then once our skimmer is plugged into the controller, we can get this cord ready by popping this part out, which is the adapter. This is actually what plugs into the wall, if that makes sense. And then the cord that plugs into the wall plugs into here. And then this other cord will plug into the controller. I don't want to deal with too many wires right now, so we'll plug in the lid and the float sensor to the controller in a minute. Now the challenge is going to be putting this in the aquarium stand and not making it look like a huge mess. First thing, let's get the body of the skimmer in, and then we'll work on hanging the controller. So I'm just gonna take the skimmer, pop it right in here, and let it sink down to the bottom. Now, because it does have a nice square base, it fits into this corner perfectly. So it's a little hard for you to see, but there it is. Now I'm gonna get all this in place. I don't wanna bore you, so I'm not gonna film 5 minutes of me shoving these cords behind the stand. I will show you the controller though. So I plan to just use command hooks to hang this inside the stand, and then once I plug it in and get it set up, I'll show you exactly how I'm gonna program it and how I'm gonna use it in my tank.
One eternity later.
So here is the skimmer set up from top all the way down to bottom. It's harder for you to see because, well, it's in a stand. But the skimmer itself looks really nice, looks really sleek. And then I have the controller on this side because this side's all messed up with other controllers. So I went ahead and just put the skimmer controller on this right side, which it fit perfectly, so it was no issue at all. Now, because the water level in my sump is so high, I have the gate valve open on the bottom as big as possible. And now we're simply just gonna go to the controller. And it just is off right now, but I'm gonna go ahead and turn it on and crank it up to 100%, which is just done by using this wheel. And then here comes all that foam. It is incredibly quiet, and that is an awesome selling feature on this. It's literally silent compared to my other skimmer. It's very hard to hear it over the other equipment in the water running in general. So I do have to say, amazing build quality. Now, if I plug the hole the water is currently coming out of, we can go ahead and wait for it to fill up. And this will trigger that auto shut off thing that I'll show you in a second. So say you left your skimmer unattended for, you know, a long period of time. The idea here would be that that float valve would kick in once it gets full and turn off the skimmer. Of course, my light just turned off. So skimmer just turned off. As you can see, the little control panel's flashing off with the little up arrow. As soon as we drain the cup down into the aquarium, well, in this case it's clean water. Normally you would just go ahead and dump it in the garbage or the sink or outside or whatever, but then the skimmer will go ahead and automatically turn back on as soon as you drain the cup. You can see down here those needle wheel impellers down there, the dual needle wheel impellers I should say, as they suck in water and air, combine it to make the super fine micro bubbles. Now overall I'm extremely impressed so far, and I think the skimmer really has a ton of potential. Honestly, the silence factor, the large collection cup, the automatic shut-off feature, and the controllers, so you can totally adjust the speed from 100% down to just off, is really unheard of at this price. The only thing I wish was included was a net cleaner, a built-in net cleaner. It's where you spin the top and it wipes the inside of the skimmer. That would be super helpful. And then I do have a little bit of an issue with all of the cords. So my only complaints so far are I wish I had a net cleaner, which really at this price isn't that big of a deal. And then I do wish there were a little bit less cords, because there are a lot of cords and it does make the setup very messy. But for the price of only $350, it's really a good deal. Now I'm going to go ahead and give the skimmer a few days to break in, which means all the oils, lubricants, and stuff like that that are on the skimmer from manufacturing. As that slowly breaks down and the skimmer starts actually producing skim and actually working, I'll go ahead and cap up the hole. For now, it's just draining back into the sump while it breaks in. But I'll update in a couple days when that slows down. Usually it takes a couple days up to a week for a skimmer to totally break in. Once it's broken in, it will operate totally normal. Once it starts operating normal, I'll give my full review. However, for now, just as a quick first look, I'm going to stop the video here and I'll get back to you in a few days.
Day 4.
Okay, so it's been a few days and it's time to check in on the skimmer. I got it all tuned and I think it's working flawlessly. And here is the skimmer. So as you can see, we have skimmate in there just a little bit, and I have it tuned pretty much perfectly, because if you can't tell, the water level in my sump is very high. So I need to either find a platform to raise the skimmer up, or what I just did was on the controller back there, I just turned the flow down to 70% and it's working perfect. As you can see, there's already stuff in the skimmer cup, and that's only after having it set up for I think like 2 days. Yeah, 2 days since I tuned it and got it ready to go. For the past couple of days, it's just been running and overflowing just to kind of get it broken in, but it's only been running fully for about 2 days. Now ideally, sooner than later, I'd like to come up with a platform to raise the skimmer off the ground, just to like an inch or two, just to get it to the correct technical water level. However, it's working flawlessly in these conditions. I just think that'd be a way to maximize it a little bit better if I went ahead and rose it up, which I do plan on doing. I just thought I should go ahead and give you an update that it's working totally fine regardless. So that is basically going to wrap up this video of the Maxspect skimmer. I am totally satisfied with it. I absolutely love the features, the flow valve, and the quiet factor. I think I've talked about the quietness like 20 times, but it's literally so quiet. Compared to my Bubble Maggot skimmer, it's literally silent. And then the controller was awesome, because in my system specifically, I did have to turn the flow down a little bit so it stopped overflowing, so it skimmed at the correct level. So that was also super beneficial. I wouldn't have been able to use this skimmer in my system if it didn't have the controller. I'd be forced to raise it up as soon as possible. However, like I mentioned, it is working perfect on my tank. If you want to check out the unboxing video of that skimmer and all the other Maxspect products, do not forget to check that out. And stay tuned, because I have my review of the Maxspect lights coming soon. But overall, I would give this skimmer a solid 8.5 out of 10. I do wish it had a net cleaner, and I do wish there were a little bit less cords and wires and cables. But other than that, I'm more than happy with this skimmer, and especially at the price point, it really brings a lot of value to the table. Once again, that is it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and goodbye.